In half an hour interview, we are not able, Bagarji is close by.
Actually, going directly to your questions that our universities should be able to demonstrate.
तारीख का तारीख रहेगा। हमें मेरा ख्याल है कि हमें अपने बेसिक डीएनए को ठीक करने की ज़रूरत है।
Having a conversation this morning, awareness among our students about AI literacy.
Think about it, define it properly so anybody else can also understand it. Third, go for ideation, explore solutions. Look what kind of solutions already exist or something that we can create here. But then at the same time, come up with a prototype, try it, you can really solve the problem. So when I'm saying design thinking and I'm using my head, my heart and my hands. So it's more of like a cognition, but at the same time with strategy, practically. So strategically thinking, feeling empathy with the human, understand exactly what problem they are handling and how we as an engineer or as an innovation entrepreneur expert or being a vice chancellor of an art and design university, we can really solve this. I use these three words for myself. So it's quite a, you can say, it's a destiny for myself to connect it to all these diversified disciplines. But in fact, being an engineer myself who are designed to solve the world problem, having PhD and postdoc in entrepreneurial and innovation management education system, and then being a vice chancellor of art and design university gave me very diversified experience. What I do, I publish a newsletter in my university quarterly, and the last newsletter that I published, I always write first page from the desk of Vice Chancellor. And that article, I would ask you to kindly go and use and see the website of SABS-U University. You'll find the title written there, which says, "Let art and design support science and technology." Why I'm saying this? Because art and design thinking make us more close to the humans. When I was only engineer, I was very much in the box. And we know that innovation asks us to come out of the box. We normally use the term think outside the box. But as an engineer, I was not thinking out of the box. When I got my entrepreneurship degree, I thought or I understand how to really think outside the box. But then when I become a vice chancellor of art university, I thought really how these artists and designers are interacting with the people. So what made me learn with this diversified experience is very important that the design thinking framework or design thinking concept must be learned, and we need to solve that real world problem by understanding or interacting with the humans. Go and ask them what problem they are facing. Let me share with you a very real problem that I understood, of course, by interacting with the academic inventor in a very advanced university. I had my postdoc from University of Utah, but I had a chance to sit in technology transfer offices there. When I was sitting in the technology transfer offices, different academic inventors were visiting those offices, but then they were coming up with an extraordinary technology. And they were giving this technology to the managers of the technology transfer offices, and they were asking them to commercialize it. Now again, question being raised, this entire process, an invention disclosure need to reach to the market. It was more of like research to retail, how to do that. And this is the question, in fact, you are raising here. How to really go through this entire process. I asked one of the academic inventors, I asked them, "Sir, can you please tell me your entire story because you were successful in bringing your technology to the market." And the fascinating story, what he told me, started with the concept of design thinking. He told me that he designed something extraordinary technology, which I would call it is like earphones, because was the technology was used to collect the data when patient is going through the MRI process. Simple, sounds okay. He said, I made a prototype, I took it to the technology transfer office, and I asked managers to get this commercialized. I said, all right, it's fine, but it's better you go to the hospitals, better you go to the doctors and give your prototype to them and tell them, do they really want your technology or not? So he said, I did the same. He said, I went to the doctor and I gave this earphone to the doctors and asked them, can you please use this technology because I want to commercialize it. Goodness, he said, I'll come back to you after 1 week to get the feedback on it. After 1 week, the academic inventor went back to the hospital and he asked and get the feedback from the doctors, do you really need that? The doctor said, oh, we don't really think that we need your technology. It's very difficult. And then he was like fascinated and said, what is the issue with my technology? He said, as the technology is doing wonders. It is really collecting the data that we really want. It's a sensitive data near earpieces and we want that data and data is available. But you know what is happening? We have a line of patients. And these line of patients, after every half an hour, we have to go through the another patient. We do not have 5 minutes extra to change this technology, wear it to your patient, prepare your patient to get this data, and bring it back to this. However, if you change the design of your technology, we may think to accept it. So the question which was raised was not science and technology. The question that was raised was related to art and design. This bottle may have an extraordinary uncontaminated water filled in this science and technology. But this cannot get or reach to the market until you have very comfortable way of holding this bottle and this very fascinating logo or brand displayed on it. So that was the reason I realized that if you really want to come up with an extraordinary science and technology while using this STEM discipline, it is very important to seek assistance from art and design and bringing and making the STEM or converting into a STEAM we all are, and then try to solve your problem. That is the only way forward, and I'm looking forward. Thank you very much, Dr. Naz.